So the art market is collapsing. Now what? It's gonna be dead soon. Why am I saying this? Well, because it is true. And all signs are pointing toward the fact that the West is gonna collapse. The world might collapse. Population, civilization, whatever you wanna call it, is gonna go down. And with it, of course, so is the art market as we know it today. Everything will be different. Maybe even within the next 10 to 20 years. And we can pretend that we're not seeing what is happening around us, but very soon it's going to become unignorable. We won't be able to just turn our head and say, oh, things are going to be okay, they're just trying to stress us out, the news is always negative. No, things are actually showing symptoms of moving towards decline. And I didn't make that up. I've been watching war analysts and people who basically compare and catalog the symptoms of today's world right now, things that are happening, to civilizations in the past who have experienced the same symptoms right when they began entering their declining phases. Famous professors and war analysts have been cataloging exactly the symptoms happening right now to the world, realizing that it matches a lot of models and theories that show we are currently entering basically collapse, societal complete breakdown. And I will tell you exactly how that is going to affect you as an artist or a creative person, completely, potentially ruining your whole life and path and career and dreams and all of that. But I'm not trying to be pessimistic here. We basically need to talk about this because we need to prepare spiritually, emotionally, in every single way, morally. We need to be ready for what is possibly about to come or has already began happening. First of all, why are such famous and known people saying that the world is collapsing? And it is collapsing. Here are the symptoms that show unignorably, undeniably, that this is true. First of all, we are observing collapse in the social aspect in many developed countries. And you can tell me that this is only happening in developed countries and therefore it won't affect you, for instance, if you're not in the West, but it will hugely affect you. Once the West begins collapsing, everything else will follow and will be affected. Considering that the world is so interconnected and globalized, we are no longer in separate countries. It's all connected like a web. One part of the web gets stained, the entire web starts to become stained. So from the social aspect, a demographic winter. People are not having kids anymore because they don't believe that the world that's coming even is good enough for our children to live in. And therefore, a lot of people are checking out and saying, you know what, I don't want to bring kids into this world. I don't want them to struggle. And therefore, we're seeing a decline in the birth rate. Hyper-individualism. Everyone thinks about themselves. No one trusts others. No one wants to help others. There's no community anymore. People are hyper-focused on what they can have, what they own, what they do, their status, and not really about other people. Not anymore. Everyone is selfish. Look at social media. It's all look at me, look at me, look at my new nose job, look at my new lip job, look at my new car, my new relationship. Pessimism and nihilism are on the rise, including greed, severe greed. And there's also a rising mental health crisis. For instance, in Europe, in my academy, I don't think I've seen a single one of the students I'm in a studio with that doesn't have some sort of a mental health crisis. And they're young. They're 19, 20, and they look miserable, depressed. They don't even believe there's hope or a reason to exist anymore. That at least that's the vibe I'm getting. And this is everywhere. It's not just in Europe. The amount of people suffering through depression is hitting like sky-high numbers. Economic decay and productive decay. Countries are entering staggering debt. People are entering staggering debt. There are literally companies dedicated to resolving debt now. Can you imagine how bad it's getting? There is also a decline of work ethic. People don't believe in their governments or their countries anymore or their cause and existence anymore. So they're saying, why should I work for someone who's just not even giving me the return that I deserve? F that, I'm not gonna work. That's basically most of young people right now. The living standards are dropping. There's also an educational and academic loss of mission. Schools and academies are no longer unified in one goal and they seem ever so shattered. Academies are teaching abstract art, abstract music. What is art? No one even knows anymore. The mission is dissolving. There is a clear dominance of short-termism in the world. People are no longer looking at the long term or working on long-term goals. Everyone is preoccupied with what they can have now, tomorrow, this week. And this is awful. Focusing on the narrow short term is also a huge symptom of showing societal collapse and individual collapse as well. The world, despite having some of the most advanced medicine in all history, is seeing a decline, ironically, in health, physical health as well. All the obesity, all the diabetes, all the mental health problems, chronic illness, inflammation everywhere, addiction. Things are not looking well, and it's not a coincidence. Things are collapsing. Third is political dysfunction. It's very, very, very obvious. Chronic war is happening almost in every part of the world, conflicts in every part of the world. Even people are divided within countries and cities, even on a small scale. So small scale wars and big scale wars. Things are not looking good. Okay, so this is one of the theories or mottos that shows a mega city or a mega population or society, like in our case, is basically nearing its end. Is when there's an overproduction of elite people, and those elite people begin fighting for a limited amount of positions of power, and then they end up killing each other. It's kind of happening. And democracy is basically turning into authoritarian all over the world. The whole world is seeing a Nazification. There is no more democracy. It's starting to fade, and the lies are becoming obvious. And when the lies stop working and people start waking up, the next step of governments and the elite is coercion, forcing us, scaring us. And you can expect this to be happening more and more as we enter this phase of collapse. And now let's go into how this affects the art world. Undeniably, the art world will collapse just like society is collapsing. Here is what will happen. And although history and predictions are not always right, but these things are expected to happen. I hope that I'm wrong though. Decline and collapse and conflict and misalignment leads to art becoming an asset. For most of people and buyers and galleries, art will become not something beautiful, something that they want to have and invest in. No, it will become an asset. Art will lose its spiritual value and it will lose its cultural value. People will begin seeing art as something completely different and disconnected from the truth of what the core of what art is. People will start seeing art as a way of outrunning tax. They will see art as a way to launder money. They will see art or owning a piece of art as something that adds to their status. They will see art as money storage. And the thing is that this is already happening and things are being pushed toward there already. And that already proves we're entering this phase. Second of all, when the debt bubble bursts, the first thing that people will begin to eliminate is the art, unfortunately. And whenever there's so much conflict and people don't even know if they're going to survive this year or be comfortable next year, they're not going to be caring about art much. They're going to sell that, not even buy it in the first place or invest in it. Another thing that will occur is that there will be so much cynicism around art. What is art? Is AI art really art? Is a banana taped to a wall art? Is a toilet art? What does even art mean? Is it a word? Is it a thing? That's when culture collapses. The meaning of meaning and the meaning of things start to lose themselves. When there begin to be frays in the social structure and there is no trust, people will stop buying art too. Because to buy art, you need to trust the artist. You need to trust in art. You need to trust that it has a spiritual value and a cultural value and a historical value. But when your trust begins to die down, then you will stop caring entirely. Content will become more important than art. Short-term art, quick art, mass production art will be favored over anything that is valuable and takes longer. And we're already seeing this with AI flooding the internet, or those commercial little quick art taking over and drowning out real voices. In a world like this, the life of an artist or the artist's life becomes impossible because people will stop investing, governments will stop investing, other things will become more important, and therefore artists will no longer be able to dedicate their lives to the craft. They will have to get a job, a second job, a side hustle, if even, and they will not even have time to feed their work. And when artists cannot dedicate time into art, well, art will disappear, or at least its quality will drastically decline. This might be a very dreary way to look at it, but it's becoming clear that the West is collapsing, and this will affect the entire world, and therefore the art market will also drop. Again, I really hope I'm wrong, and predictions are never, I'm not saying it's true, it's just a prediction, not even my own prediction. But I took this prediction and I applied it to the art world just to kind of emotionally prepare us for the worst case scenario. And here comes the worst case scenario. In case the world collapses, civilization collapses, let's say World War III, what will happen to art? Will art even matter anymore? So the worst case scenario, museums and galleries get locked, looted, destroyed. Digital archives go extinct, they cease to exist. Art materials become very expensive or even hard to come across due to dropping demand and collapse of basically everything, all trade, all systems, and eventually the art market goes down. A huge note again, I hope that I'm wrong. Predictions like this are like a wild guess. I got inspired to make this video after watching a few analysis from professors and actual professionals. So my point from this whole video is, even if art is crashing and everything seems like chaos right now and it doesn't look like it's going anywhere good, just draw what you feel like drawing. Don't satisfy the short-term view of art or this commercialization, mass, whatever. Just do what you feel like doing. You can let go of all of these things that are weighing you down and just do what your heart tells you to do. Even if society collapses and, let's say, worst case scenario, World War III comes, humanity has survived and even flourished after events like that. And art has always remained or became reborn, reblossomed. Art itself is never gonna disappear, but maybe the current market that we are seeing right now and the market that exists while we live today might be renewed or changed into something completely different, maybe even for the better. And yeah, that's basically what I wanted to talk about today. I hope you found this useful. If you like this, don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and you can also buy me a coffee to support me. The link is in the description. Very in theme with this video is a video I made on my channel talking about the actual predictions of a Bulgarian psychic She passed away a while ago, but she was ultra famous for predicting multiple huge world events. And her name is Baba Vanga. My grandfather actually knew her, like they actually knew each other. So I know a little bit about her from my grandfather, and also I researched a lot of the things that she predicted. And so far, a bunch of things she predicted came true, and she has predictions spanning all the way until the year 3000 and beyond. So if you're interested in knowing what the future holds for you, then head over to that video. It will be in the description box. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!